Yo, what's up, it's Ghosty, and today I'm going to bring you guys another comparison video between the C58 and EM2. Now, I want to make this comparison video because with the new season, you know, everyone's kind of wondering what the best they are or just best gun in the game is at the moment. And I believe that the C58 and EM2 are the two best ARs, even with the quote-unquote recoil nerf that they received. And I know some people might be asking, well, what about the grab, the new AR? I've yet to use it, really see anything about it. You know, I get mixed reviews about it, so I'm not really entirely sure where to rank it. So I don't really have an opinion on that gun just yet. I'm gonna have to unlock it, level it up, and actually use it before I can really like give you guys just any type of information on that weapon. But so for now, all I can say is that it's an unknown gun. I'm not entirely sure how good it is and if it's better or at the level of a C58 or EM2. But anyways, man, with that being said, if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. We're on the road to 2,000. We're like 160, 150 away from that. And also, man, if you guys do me a favor of following me over at my Twitch channel, it would be greatly appreciated.
I'll get removed.
But man, let's get into this comparison. And here we have the recoil pattern for the C58. Now, like I mentioned earlier, these two weapons actually ended up receiving a nerf in the new Season 6 update, and that was their just recoil nerf. However, if you guys are familiar with recoil nerfs and just Raven and all that, typically when Raven nerfs a weapon and all they do is a quote-unquote recoil nerf, it never actually does anything to the weapon. To be honest, bro, the EM2 and C58 don't feel any different than from what they were before this nerf. And I've used these two guns a little bit before this nerf or before the Season 6 update. So, you know, I kind of remember what they feel like. I'm not going to act like I've used them, you know, religiously, but I know for a fact that these two weapons don't seem any different than they did in Season 5. And honestly, bro, if they were going to nerf these weapons, they would have to been damaged. Because now that I've used them, I can confidently say that these two weapons, without competition, are the best ARs in the game. Again, the only other gun that I don't really know where to classify is the grab, but every other AR, like, it just doesn't come close to these two weapons. Because these two weapons pack a punch, and, you know, yes, they have recoil, but at this point, since they've just been nerfing all these ARs, every other AR also has recoil. Like, the XM4 doesn't shoot straight. It has quite a bit of damage, but the C58 and especially EM2 both outpower in damage. They still got to deal with the whole, like, recoil. All of them have to deal with recoil. I can't really think of a weapon right now, except for maybe, like, the Growl that is, like, could be considered a top AR and just have no recoil. The FAR has recoil. I know the Grab has recoil. That's the only thing I know about it. The XM4 has recoil. I think what's the one called? The QBZ doesn't. So people don't really rock with it. I know the Craig has recoil. The Ram that I made a video on a few days ago has recoil. Like, most of these weapons that are just candidates for being the best AR all have recoil, which is great. It's a great thing. I think it's a beautiful thing that it's like a it's a beautiful thing that there isn't a no recoil meta. That's good. I like the fact that all these guns, it requires some sort of right analog stick movement in order to just shoot your weapon straight or just somewhat accurately. I like that. However, all of them have recoil, but not all of them pack the same punch that the C50 and EM2. Now, let me just, a little side note before we get carried away in this video. The sake of this video isn't necessarily to pick one gun over the other. It's more as just stating the two best weapons at the moment after the Season 6 update, because, you know, people might be wondering, and I definitely believe that these two weapons are, like, without a doubt, the best guns in the game. I think the only other guns that might pose a threat is one of the LMGs, whether it's the MG, whether it's the Stoner, what else? I think there's only two SMGs, or my bad, LMGs that I could really think of. Maybe the PKM as well. But other than that, in terms of, like, the AR category, bro, I don't think there's any other weapons that really come close to both these weapons. Now, you might disagree with me on that, and that's fine. But watch, when you listen to the stats and whatnot, bro, you'll see why I believe that. But anyway, speaking of stats, with that being said, let's move on over to the EM2 and stats. And here we have the recoil pattern for the EM2. Now, one thing that's actually kind of interesting about both these weapons is if you guys look at the recoil patterns, they're pretty straightforward. They pretty much go up. However, obviously, just the way the recoil develops, it develops really, really quickly. So both of these weapons are very, not necessarily extremely tough weapons to control, but trust me, if you don't have any sort of, like, right analog control, you're not gonna be able to control these weapons. And actually, I meant to make an EM2 video a long time ago, like a few weeks ago, but when I first used it, it felt too hard to use. And I don't know what changed. I don't know, because I think pretty sure I'm using the same class that I was using when I actually tried using it a few weeks ago. So this time around though, this gun felt amazing. Like, I actually can't believe that I haven't been using this weapon this whole time, because again, they didn't really nerf it in the Season 6 update. And at this point, if this weapon does come into like meta, this gun is definitely gonna get nerfed. It's just damage-wise, this gun is just unmatched. I remember looking at the stats a few weeks ago when I was trying to make a video on it, and yeah, bro, the fact that this weapon hasn't been nerfed in terms of damage is kind of absurd. Like, yes, it has a pretty moderate fire rate. Like, the fire rate isn't too crazy, and the recoil is pretty insane. But if you can get it under control a little bit and just hit quite a few shots, especially headshots, this gun will kill people really fast. And man, like, I just can't see myself using another weapon at the moment other than the EM2 or C58. And again, like, I'm gonna keep just referencing the grav, because again, I have a friend who uses the grav and he tells me it's pretty good. I haven't. My first impressions of like picking it off the ground, I don't think it's the greatest gun. But then again, you know, I can't really judge a whole weapon on just ground loot. I need to actually get it, use it for a while, max it out, build class setups with it, and then I can actually judge the gun. So for now, again, the grav, I really don't know. But aside from the grav, I don't really see myself using any other ARs other than the two that I'm talking about in this video, especially the EM2, bro. Because this EM2, man, it's unfair. Quite frankly, it's unfair. And I'm telling you guys right now, man, you gotta hop on the C58 and EM2 train right now before they get nerfed, because I don't really think like they're meta right now. People are starting to slowly convert to these weapons, but right now at the moment, I feel like they're not 100% like meta. But when it does become meta, expect these weapons to get nerfed. But anyways, man, moving on over to the stats. For the C58, we have a 553 RPM for fire rate, and then for the EM2, we have a 533 RPM. So necessarily in this situation, there's no real advantage or disadvantage when using one another. If you use the EM2, you're not really missing much in terms of fire rate, and if you use the C58, you're not really at a big advantage over like an EM2 in terms of fire rate. However, if you compare it to like a gun like the XM4, they both get drastically just destroyed in terms of fire rate, but what they don't get destroyed in is damage. And as you guys are going to hear right now, man, these damages are insane. So for the C58, for 0 to 25 meters, we have 58 damage to the head, 44 to the neck, and then 37 to the chest, stomach, and extremities. And then for the EM2 at 0 to 26 meters, we have 61 damage to the head, 49 to the neck, and then 41 to the chest, stomach, and extremities. Now, both of these weapons obviously pack a punch, especially in the headshot department. That's where you're going to get your most, like, efficiencies, when you actually straight up shoot people in the head. And both of them are, statistically from that range, 5-shot headshots. Obviously, you're not going to be able to get, like, 5-shot headshots all the time, but if you're just able to chain, like, 3 headshots in when you're shooting at someone, you're going to be able to kill people really quickly. Now, in comparison to like an XM4, that gun has a 45 damage to the head and 45 to the neck, and both of these weapons have a significant advantage over that in that department. And if I remember correctly, the XM4 is like 30 damage to like the chest and stomach, and obviously both these guns, again, outgun the XM4 by a lot. And the only reason I'm really mentioning the XM4, because I know for a fact that the XM4 is like kind of like the go-to AR, at least for me it was, and I know a lot of other people were definitely using the XM4 before Season 5, and I think some of them people are still using it right now. But trust me, man, you might want to make this switch, bro, because again, these damages are undeniable. Now moving on over to the longer ranges. For 25 meters and above, for the C58, we have 53 damage to the head, 40 to the neck, and then 34 to the chest, stomach, and extremities. And then for the EM2, we have 55 damage to the head, or my bad, 26 meters and above, 55 damage to the head, and then 44 to the neck, and then 37 to the rest of just the body parts. Now again, bro, following the same trend, bro, both these weapons clearly are very powerful at that range, a lot more powerful than most of the ARs in their own category. Yeah, you can make an exception for a gun like the Odin, but you know, no one's really using the Odin. But other guns, man, I don't know, man. It's quite literally undeniable how powerful both these weapons are, and they definitely hold an advantage over their whole class. Again, the only other guns that I really see these two getting competed with at the moment is the Grav, because again, I don't really know how good or bad it is, and then the Stoner and MG, because I know those two weapons are still weapons that get used quite a bit. I know for a fact the MG still, people still run it. I see the MG a lot, and I've been thinking about using it, but I don't know, man. I feel like I'm really liking the EM2 and C58. I can't really see myself using the MG, but if you guys would like to see me use it and make a video on it, then let me know in the comments section below, because I'm definitely open to making one. I might end up making one eventually, but that probably will be later in the season. If it doesn't get nerfed by a few weeks into the season, then I'll definitely make a video on it. But right now, I got other priorities. I'm trying to, make grab content and other stuff and whatnot. But yeah, man, with that being said, man, let me know what you guys think about, I guess, both of these weapons. Because again, like, it's crazy because these two weapons didn't get nerfed in terms of like damage or anything else. They just got nerfed a little bit in the recoil, which again you don't really feel, especially if you used it last season. So for the fact that these two weapons now feel like, I don't know, like, these guns are the same guns that they were last season, and the fact that I wasn't using them just makes me kind of mad. And I know for a fact a lot of you guys out there definitely also did not use them. So with that being said, again, let me know what you guys think about both these weapons, and which one do you prefer and why. Because to be honest, I can't sit here and act like these two aren't top 3 AR. And statistically speaking, and just how dominant they feel in game, you can say whatever AR you want, but I don't see any other AR necessarily surpassing these others. Maybe on par with them, and that's a big maybe, but definitely not surpassing them. But yeah, man, thank you guys for watching. See you guys later. Peace.